What's going on, boys? It's Daddy Big here, and today I kind of wanted to talk about something. And recently whoa, recently I don't know what I was going on about there, but recently I've been really really busy. Right now, the falls have just been busy for me, and it's just been intense. And on a day to day basis, I've been feeling like I've been dealing with it really well. But I feel like it's when because I'm at a point where I'm able to deal with things a lot better than I used to. When you're at that point, it's getting overwhelmed just kind of creeps up on you. You know what I mean? It's like when you have that tolerance level, it's almost like you don't realize as much because things are very gradual. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you go through daily stresses and you handle it, but then at some point after a while it just catches up with you. You know what I mean? And getting overwhelmed like that just isn't, I mean, it's not fun. You know what I mean? And I don't mean I don't mean like overwhelmed in the way of like having a panic attack or anything like that. I mean just getting like to the point where all of the stress you've been having like just weighs on you to the point where it's like you have a little mental reset because it's just been too much for too long or whatever it could be, right? But but yeah, so recently I was just, going through a lot. I had a lot of stress, but I was handling it okay, and then like it got to the end of the week, Friday night, and it was just like I was just like not in a good way. You know what I mean? I didn't feel good. And it's like I don't even really know how to describe it. It's just I felt kind of gross. It was like I felt like and I was nothing I couldn't really find a way to easily cheer myself up. And it was like making videos wasn't feeling that, wasn't feeling doing work or anything like that. I just wasn't it just felt like I wasn't in the mood for anything. You know, I was overwhelmed and I didn't have anything I felt like I could do for it, you know. And for me those moments are always hard to deal with because, it's like especially when you do have stuff well, luckily for me, it happened at a time where things weren't too intense. Wasn't too much I had to do. But sometimes that feeling of just all the stress hitting you, sometimes that happens like at a bad time. Like when you have a bunch of work the next day or like homework or whatever it could be, stuff you got to get done. That's when you got to try to push through it and really, and that's like when the stress starts to break you. But this wasn't like like a panic attack, mental breakdown level of stress. It was just like it all just kind of crept on me. It was just felt like this weight that I just been gradually shouldering, and all of a sudden it was just like I felt it. You know what I mean? That's the best way I think I can describe it. But I am a musician, and that's always been an important outlet for me. And the thing is, there are lots of different outlets in my life. I do art. I make my pixel art. I draw just on paper. I have gaming, right? And that's one thing I should get better at is playing games just for fun, because I've been so focused on this channel. I've lost a bit of that for myself, you know. But yeah, but it's just all these different outlets I've had, and music has always been one. But since I've been so busy with school and the channel, I haven't really, for the past few months, really had that much time to work on music. And that's like how I feel, right? I mean, I've still certainly done stuff. I'm playing in groups, and I did release that song "Only You," and oh God, was it early September or late August, sometime around there. But so I have done some things, right? But it feels like that's kind of been something that I've taken a halt on in life a lot, and that's okay. That's nothing bad, I'm at a point where making music isn't something that I have to be doing every single day, every hour, and I'm thankful for that. I want myself to have space, but still, in that moment, last Friday when I was just overwhelmed and felt this weight on me. I turned to music in that moment, because I realized, you know, working on the channel wasn't going to cut it. Doing work for other things wasn't going to cut it. I needed some kind of way out because I felt trapped, and I was really emotional. And I wrote this song, and the song, I'm very proud of it. I'm gonna try to keep working on it, and if someday when I do release it, I'm gonna say that I will, because I really want to. I will link that down below, but I'll go back and change it if I if I remember. But yeah, it just reminded me that, like, when music has been so distant from me for so long, that I needed that back. You know what I mean? And I think all of us have our passions and our different things, and it's like sometimes you just need a certain kind of outlet, you know? And in that moment, I needed music. And that realization was really important cuz yeah, it really helped me out a lot. And I think what I learned from that, right? Cuz you learn something anytime something like this happens. I think what I learned is just that sometimes, music can heal, and I've known that forever, but it's a lesson sometimes I have to reteach myself, is that it's an outlet for me, and it's a way that I can express my emotions. And, one of my favorite parts of creating music is just sitting down and just typing out my thoughts, just writing poetry, right? Because that's what my lyrics are. And the way that it's just so magical that I can sit down and just write out my thoughts. But as I go along, take that little extra second to think what form it's going to be in and where the rhymes are going to happen. And in taking that extra second, it brings this new element, brings this new side to my thoughts. And the fact that a lot of my songs have just been me just regurgitating my thoughts and having it all work out, that makes them mean even more to me when it's, because that's what happens. I feel emotional, I feel inspired, and I sit down and I write, and then that's when the real stuff comes out, and it just comes out of me, and the fact that these songs I can perform, I know that the lyrics came from my heart, all like that, just out there. That's something that I think is really special. And that makes my music really personal to me. But yeah, I didn't expect to get so deep into the musical aspect of it. But yeah, that's I think it's something that's really important. That's music was able to help me in that situation, and I hope that all of you have something that you can use as an outlet, something personal that you can engage with to relieve your stress and remind yourself that you're worth it, I think that's really, really important. So if I can give you any advice, my advice would be to, if you're feeling stressed, feel like you have that weight that's just caught up with you, to just find a release. And, it doesn't even have to be something as grand as writing a song. It can just be, a friend, a lover, a brother, a parent, whatever it could be, just support from someone you love. That can make the difference, And, part of the reason why I've been able to recover so well from that weight and be able to shoulder it so readily is because of my support system, and I'm very, very grateful for the people that are there for me. So, I've always said, part of life is personal gain and personal accomplishments, but none of that means anything if you don't have anyone to share your victories with. But that would be an entirely different video, talking about that little idiom I've written. But yeah, so like I said, if the takeaway here is just to find your way to release that weight, and remember that when you need it. And yeah, I think that's about all I gotta say. So thanks for listening, boys, and I'll see you in the next one.